Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. I am Cedric and in Antwerp we are gonna taste our 10th beer from the Brussels Beer Project Advent Calendar. So, first off, let's find number 10. We got 11 here. Number 10. I'm guessing. See, that's B-Post's work. I almost have number 18 here. So we'll have to keep that in mind. That number 18 will probably be empty. What do we have here? Aha, the Pico Nova. I remember this one. Pico Nova is one of the alcohol-free ones. I believe Brussels Beer Project makes 2 alcohol-free beers. And this is the second one. The first one was the Pico Bello. Now, since this is a 100% Brussels Beer Project Advent Calendar, no sister breweries were involved, and since they have this knack for teams and numbers, like the 1357 Street Fighter series, the joke they played on us with the King or the Grossberta, the other beers that came out of the like the Delta that came out of Poles. So they are playing with numbers and teams, and this is number 10. I remember last year this was in the middle of the Advent Calendar, number 12 or 13. I would not be surprised if they did include the Pico Bello as well, and that will be number 20. Just a hunch. But let's go over this again, because, well, it's been a year since I've had one of these. I do remember that I quite liked it. So let's see if my taste changed. Pico Nova is the bitter sister of our dear Bello, a complex personality crisp with a tropical nose. It's showtime with no headache. Grains, pale ale, rye malt, toasted wheat, chocolate spelt. I remember being surprised by that. But I actually like toasted malts. Toasted wheat can't be any worse. And chocolate spelt would be a darker roasted spelt. So, complex, balanced body. Hops, Pato, Simcoe and Sabro. Now, I have worked with Simcoe before, and we've had Sabro. I remember the Marathon de Sabro by Doc Brewing Co. Still, this is the only beer that I've ever had with Pato hops. Tropical notes with citrus, pine and coconut. Alcohol 0.3%. And, well, there are different procedures or ways to brew an alcohol-free beer. Of course, there is a way of just not having many sugars that are fermentable. There's the other way, like brewing a normal beer but low in alcohol and then filtering the alcohol, or kind of distilling the alcohol, maybe even an ethanol extraction. But I have heard that this beer has been developed with the Proefbrouwerij, and that they use the biological way, meaning they use a yeast strain that only ferments glucose and no other fermentable sugars. So by using mainly other sugars and starches and keeping the glucose to a minimum, the yeast will ferment and will produce esters and flavors and carbon dioxide and everything you want, but it will ferment slowly and mainly with a very tiny amount of ethanol, so low on alcohol. Because I do believe that Brussels Beer Project doesn't want any chemical process to be done to their beers. One thing that just catches my eye is that there is no logo on this bottle cap. I don't know why. but this is just a plain black bottle cap instead of the BBP logo that we always have. Okay, let's see. 0.3% ABV, a 0 West Coast IPA, and they did promise it to be rather bitter, so I am very curious. Although bear in mind that out of 10 beers, this is our 7th IPA, I believe. We've had a sour, we've had a stout, and we've had a saison, which was also dry hopped, by the way. So 7 IPAs or 8 dry hop beers out of 10. Again, I'm noticing a theme here. All right. Also, this nice Brussels Beer Project chalice-like glass is the official glass for the Pico Nova, so I'm in luck. I don't have to do the dishes today. I do see a slight bit of residue in the bottle. Which is rather odd for a beer that's not fermented on the bottle. It's actually a bit hazy. I remember this beer being very, very clear. So I'm surprised. Did they maybe change the recipe? Or is it just me? I like this color. It's a more brownish orange amber color. Some off-white foam. Quite large bubbles. But that might be because of the yeast. Not the most pleasant smell of all. I do get a bit of a soapy scent in there, but also indeed some pine, or more some resin, not necessarily the pine itself, but the resin. And a bit of citrus. So let's dive right in. Does taste quite nice though. Nice and fresh, very refreshing. Indeed, some pine, some resin. A bit watery as well, a bit citrusy, but, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but this does resemble the mouthfeel of a flavored sparkling water. It doesn't have that much body, but not in an unpleasant way. It is rather bitter, a bit dry, quite pleasant in taste, and I am in fact very curious to the sugar content of this beer. It's a bit odd because it smells a bit artificial, but it tastes very good actually. Now, apparently I indeed didn't remember how it tasted, but like I said, it's been almost a year, and when I see toasted wheat and chocolate spelt, I actually expect a very full mouthfeel, which is not present here, and I did expect that color actually, slightly dark, but it does work wonders for the taste. It tastes a bit toasty even. I'm not gonna say malty, but a bit toasty. And I do get the Simcoe in there. Like I said, I don't know the Patho, and I think I've only had 4 or 5 beers with Sabro in it. But I do like the hop aromas in this one. I don't get the coconut that they're talking about. I don't get a lot of the tropical smells or tastes. Maybe a tiny hint of stone fruit, but yeah. Now, bear in mind, I do have a cold, so that might prohibit me from extracting all the scents and flavors. I am well aware of that. But yeah, I like it, but I'm not gonna say that I'm running to the store to get a crate. So yeah, the verdict, I'd say let's make it a 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10. I should really learn to limit myself to 1 score. Yeah, let's make it a 3. It's not horrible, it's even quite good actually, but I'm not the biggest of fans. I like the bitterness, I like the dry character. I'm not even... I don't even dislike the thin mouthfeel, but there is something that puts me off in this beer. Okay, let's keep it at that. Nonetheless, it's a well-made beer. I love how they implemented this modern procedure, not using any chemical processes. So yeah, just go out, pick one up and have yourself a taste. As usual, if you like this video, let me know, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon, you will get notified. And we still have 14 beers to go, so 2 weeks until Christmas. Cheers you guys, see you tomorrow with another video.